stop, and landing 13 left if that's available.
Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, Palm Springs Tower, squawk 6250.
6250.
Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, Palm Springs altimeters 2985 radar contact, about 10 miles west of the Palm Springs VOR. Presently landing runway 31, requesting straight in for 13.
If that's available.
Ever departure Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, make straight in runway 13 left and clear to land. Wind is 0905.
Clear to land runway 3 left, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, thanks.
Palm Springs clearance, Pilots 4658 is type PC final slam call, request clearance to Vegas S file.
Pilots 4658, Palm Springs clearance. Good afternoon. Unable to give you S file, and I'll be full route standby. Pilots 4658 is cleared to the Las Vegas Airport via Flight Cathedral 1 departure procedure to Palm Springs, Victor 370 to 29 Palms, Victor 538, Cresso, join the Cresso 3 arrival. Maintain 7,000, check flight level 2405 minutes after departure, departure frequency 126.7, squawk 6316.
Pilots 4658 is cleared to Vegas via Cathedral 1, Palm Springs, Victor 37029, Palms, Victor 538, Cresso 3, initially climb 7,000, expected cruiser S2.5, departure 167, squawk 6316,
Pause 4658, free back is correct. Tango Mike, taxi to the ground via Echo and frequency.
Taxi to the ramp via Echo, remaining on this frequency, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike.
Ontario Tower, Cessna 237 Charlie Alpha, approximately 4 miles to the west, inbound to land.
Number 237, Charlie Alpha, roger, inner left, traffic, left downwind, runway 26, left, report base.
Enter left downwind 26 left to record your base, 237 Charlie Alpha.
Charlie Tower United 242 on the visual for 20 right, returning for right base departure.
United 242, John Tower, runway 20 right, clear to land, wind 170.3.
Clear to land, cruiser right to land.
Here 520 Yankee Kilo, Palomar Tower, runway 24, clear to land, wind 210 at 1. Number 237, Charlie Alpha, runway 26 left, clear to land.
Left base land 7 Charlie Alpha.
Palm Springs ramp, Pilots 4658 is trying to weather going for taxi.
Pilots 4658, Palm Springs ground, runway 31 right, taxi via Echo and Bravo.
Trail right via Echo Bravo 465.
Riverside Tower, good morning, November 2903 Alpha with you on the island.
Number 2903 Alpha, Riverside Tower, good afternoon. Runway 9 clear low approach, report miss.
November 2903 Alpha, low approach, runway 9, next week over to
Palm Springs Tower, Pilots 4658 ready to go 3 and right take Bravo.
And it was the 30 new area check.
Pause 4658, Palm Springs Tower, runway 31 right, clear for data.
Shift takeoff 3 and right, Pilots 465.
Here's our Yankee Kilo, rush taxi into the ramp via Alpha. Pilots 4658, contact SoCal departure.
Contact departure 465.
Cessna 7 Charlie Alpha is clearly active, taxi to the GA parking place.
Number 7 Charlie Alpha, remain on this frequency, taxi into the south ramp via Sierra.
South Ramp via Sierra with you, 7 Charlie Alpha, thanks.
November 2903 Alpha going around.
Number 03 Alpha, confirm going around or going missed.
November 2903 Alpha going missing.
Number 03 Alpha, roger, execute the published missed approach procedure.
Flying the published mid-approach procedure, November 2903.
Piper 2903 Alpha, contact SoCal departure.
Contact departure, 03 Alpha.
Number 03 Alpha, departure frequency will be 135.4.
135.4 for departure, November 2903 Alpha.
Ontario Tower, November 516 Delta Mike, inbound ILS 26 left. Or 516 Delta Mike, Ontario Tower. Good afternoon, Ontario. Wind is calm. Runway 26 left, clear to land.
26 left, clear to land, 6 Delta Mike. Ontario Tower, November 36. Correction, 516 Delta Mike, clear the active uniform, taxiing to the south apron.
Number 6 Delta Mike, roger, taxi on south ramp via Sierra, remain on this frequency.
Yes, here on this frequency 6 Delta.
Riverside Tower, Riverside route, November 2903 Alpha, in Alpha request taxi to the transient partner.
Number 2903 Alpha Riverside ground in the future. Don't switch to the ground frequency unless you're told to do so. Should stay with tower, exiting the runway all the way to the hold short point. Stay on this frequency for now. Taxi into the ramp via Alpha.
Taxi to West via Alpha. Rocket. November 2903 Alpha.
Runway clear. Runway clearance. November 6th. Charlie Mike Cherokee. I would like to attempt the I-4 rating today.
Cherry 76 Charlie Mike Jolly clearance. Good evening. Good luck on the I-4 destination. Will be Kilo Oscar X-ray Romeo.
That's Kilo Oscar X-ray Romeo. 6 Charlie Mike.
Yes, sir. Good luck.
I'm going to sign off and collect some information for this destination. I'll sign back in. Is that okay?
Absolutely. Just report when you're back with the I-4. And how long do you think it'll be? It's not going to be more than an hour, is it?
No. I have to file and get some charts and plates.
Wonderful. Yeah, I'll still be here, so it shouldn't be a problem. And we'll look for your flight plan to come through. Which you're nice.
Las Vegas Tower Plus 465 visual on the right for 1500.
Plus 4658 Las Vegas Tower, runway 19 right, clear to land, wind 1807.
Clear to land 19 right 465.
Plus 658 exit right, taxi into the ramp via hotel. Remain on this frequency today.
Exit right, right hotel, and frequency 58 465.
Ground number 953 Whiskey Alpha's Piper Comanche PH4/Alpha. Taxi be active VFR east departure with weather.
Calling Long Beach ground, need you to verify your call sign, please.
Sorry about that. 916 Whiskey Alpha. November 916 Whiskey Alpha.
Comanche 9016 Whiskey Alpha, Long Beach ground, roger. And just confirm VFR eastbound.
Eastbound at Ricky East Ramp, just south of runway
Comanche 9016 Whiskey Alpha, roger. Runway 26 right, taxi via Kilo.
25. Okay, 25 right via Kilo 916 Whiskey Alpha. Long Beach Tower, November 916 Whiskey Alpha, holding short of 25 right Kilo for departure VFR east.
Around 16 Whiskey Alpha, Long Beach Tower, runway 25 right, clear for takeoff, right downwind departure route.
Clear for takeoff 25 right, right downwind departure 6 Whiskey Alpha. Good day, Palm Springs, ground scanning Hotel Tango, East Red, India, close traffic, 31 right.
Papa Hotel Tango, Mike, Palm Springs, ground, say again, aircraft type.
Bray Cessna Sky.
Skyline Tango, Mike, thank you, runway 31 right, taxi via Echo and Bravo.
Echo and Bravo, 31 right,
We're 791 Juliet, towards ground left, clear.
Okay, Sky 791 Juliet. We see there's no clearance delivery with this field, so would we get our departure instructions with tower or with ground?
Always go with the lowest, so we'll start with ground. Just say your intentions.
Okay, Sky 791 Juliet. Type Cessna 172 on the south anchors with the numbers requesting VFR advisories to
Number 791 Juliet, roger, departure frequency 134.9er, squawk 2061.
1249 is 2061.
Got 901 Juliet, read back is correct, are you ready to taxi now?
In a couple of minutes, just go down to the side. Sky 791 Juliet, south anchors.
Sky 791 Juliet, roger, runway 29 right. Taxi via hotel, correction, taxi via Alpha in Juliet.
29 right taxi by Alpha and Juliet, Sky 791 Juliet.
Palm Springs Tower, scanning Papa Hotel Tango, Mike is holding short runway 31 right, Bravo, and ready for departure, close traffic.
Hello everyone, happy Sunday. Good to see you finish. Long time, hope you're doing well. Today we're going to do the I-7 rating. Yesterday I passed for the I-6 rating, so we are on a roll, which is good. And I'm actually planning to do my I-8 rating and my I-10 rating perhaps even more upcoming week, because I have some free time on my hands and I'd like to pass for all the I ratings before Christmas. So then during the holiday break I can continue my 172 development project again, because I'm really looking forward to doing that. But first the IFR chunk, and yeah, that's what I'm doing today. So hey Volker, good to see you. Happy Sunday as well. So the I-7. No, what's the I-7 rating? Well, what we're going to do is do this cute little flight. Again, a short flight, which is always great. I mean, distance is not really a by any means a measure of complexity, or you could say, well, a short distance flight usually is actually much more challenging than a long distance flight. And in this case, we're going to fly from John Wayne to Catalina Airport, which is an island. We're going to fly over a part of the ocean to get to Catalina Island. We've already visited Catalina once, I believe, as part of a VFR flight, which was really, really interesting. And today we're going to arrive at Catalina by IFR, which is really, really exciting. And the whole challenge, purpose of this rating is to become more familiar with non-towered operations, IFR operations. In this case, arriving at a non-towered airport by IFR, and what kind of considerations you should work through. Now, in this case, we are already familiar with these non-towered operations. I've already been practicing flying from and towards non-towered airfields, but in this case, we've got a really nice instrument approach into Catalina, and I will show you in just a sec. So this is the flight, 44 nautical miles, very, very basic. No, cannot swap these, obviously, I'm in the map version. So this is the particular approach, instrument approach into Catalina, the VOR DME Bravo approach. Very, very interesting, and it includes a procedure term. Rather than the hold in lieu kind of way that we did in the previous stream with the I-6, where we needed to do a entry in the holding pattern to turn ourselves around and aligned with the runway heading. This time around we're going to do this procedure turn, and that means that we actually kind of come in from Victor 21 to the Santa Catalina VORTAC, and we're going to turn around and fly backwards away from the airport, and then once we are cross Wrigley, then we are going to at some point we're going to make this procedure turn. So turn around and capture the localizer. Now this is a non-precision approach and no ILS, no glide slope information, so we only have a sense of whether we are on laterally, whether we are on the right track, and we just use all the step downs, the profile view to get down. So then we turn back and we make it all the way down to Catalina, and once we are at around Wrigley, usually the approach controller will say, well, switch over to the CTAF frequency to announce your landing, because there's no tower, right? There's no ATC controllers locally on the Catalina airport. It's a non-towered airport, so as usual, pilots there on the CTAF, we need to announce we're coming in. And be very wary of VFR flights, especially today, because you can see outside we've got perfect flying weather, VMC also at Catalina. So even though we are IFR, there might be other VFR traffic on the non-towered airfield. So even though we're IFR and coming in, being guided by approach, as soon as we switch over to the CTAF frequency, we need to be very aware of VFR traffic and sequence ourselves in if there is any traffic. So that's really, really important. So in this case, once we're coming in, we will actually most likely come into the right downwind, or the right base of runway 22, and then land. Now, also something that you might notice, if you look at the localizer, this is not actually a localizer. I'm referring to it in the wrong way. It's just a radial, right? It's we're just using the Santa Catalina VORTAC to get in. And if you zoom in, you notice that we're not coming in at all aligned with the runway 22, right? We're at a heading of 172. So by definition, almost, because we're not coming in or not aligned with the runway, this is going to be a circling approach. So we're coming in, we come in, and once we reach the the area of the airport, we can circle around and get to whatever runway that we like to land on, in this case as part of a non-towered field. So we also need to listen on CTAF to see what other airplanes are doing. Obviously we need to be aware of the winds and stuff. So that's interesting. Now in this case, because we're coming in from this angle, I thought, well, let's go base and then land. We can also come in on a downwind and then base and then land, but we need to, again, sequence ourselves in that traffic pattern. So that's what we're going to do today. Looking at the profile view, it's actually quite basic, as you can see at the bottom. So from Wrigley, so first we're coming in from Victor 21, right? So we fly to the Vortec and then we turn around outbound to cross over the Santa Catalina Airport to Wrigley. And once we reach Wrigley on the outbound leg, then we can descend to 3,400. I filed for 4,000. Victor 21 is at 4,000 MEA. And so we go down, we do our procedure turn, and on the inbound leg, we can further descend to 2,300. And then Wrigley becomes the final approach fix. And our minimums are at 2,220, circling approach. Until we see until we have visual reference of the airport, we just stay at 2220, and if we have the field in sight, we can just land in that fashion, base or downwind. So that's very, very interesting, I think. Finish circling approach. Actually, I've got a challenge for you. Fly this without primary GPS guided, just raw data, VOR stuff. Yeah, Finish. That's a good challenge and very appropriate for this particular flight. And I might just do that. Even though I'm going to enable my GPS here, I'm just going to view. I also filed Slant Golf, but let's fly it Slant Alpha. It's not too difficult today. Yeah. So that's the particular instrument approach. Yeah, in Catalina Airport, it's a cute airport, but nothing really fancy going on there. It is a very scenic arrival, so it's going to be pretty with our photoreal scenery. Also elevated, of course. Airport elevation is... actually don't know by heart. Can we see that over here? Elevation, 1,602 feet. So yeah, it's going to be really, really exciting. I believe even the runway has a slope, 1.8% up, which saves us some runway length because it helps us slow down. So yeah, it's going to be very, very pretty. Circling southeast of runway 422 not authorized. Well, that makes sense because the missed approach hold there is part of the southeast corridor here, southeast part of the island. So obviously they don't like us to circle for an approach around that area, because if it's very, very busy in terms of IFR flight, there will be traffic there. Yeah, so that's about it. A cute little flight. The I-7 rating. Okay, so we're at John Wayne. From John Wayne to Santa Catalina Island. Into the cockpit. We are already connected, I believe. I already filed my flight plan. So let's get going. Cold and dark, yes. So parking brake set. Well, live vests are now really, really important because we are significantly crossing some water. So let's pretend that we got some live vests here. Fire extinguisher, blah blah. Doors closed, window is closed. ELT is set to auto. Flap lever is up, and our flaps are actually up. My mixture is working. Throttle as well. Trim is set. Fuel tank set to both. Cutoff is in. Alternate is in. Avionics are off. Everything's off except for the beacon. And master switch off. And their switches. Magneto switch is off as well. And my radios here are off too. Okay. Let's fasten our seatbelts here. Now, in about 30 minutes, PilotEdge goes live. So we do have some time here to set ourselves up. So we're not in a hurry at all. Here in the Netherlands, I am going to have dinner in just a hour or so. So that's why I'd like to be early on, and as soon as PilotEdge goes live, start flying. So we complete our flight in time and I can have dinner. And again, trying to utilize all the free time that I have to do this. Wes, thank you for the hosts. How many sim hours are you on now? Well, the brick... I can actually show you. Because I logged them all. Later, 286 hours, and I've flown 12,000 nautical miles. Interesting. Yeah, and here you can see my my average year kind of activity here. You can see I'm not really consistent with flying. Yeah, life just interrupts. But hey, that's just how it goes. And this is the fun of logging your flights. I'm just using a plain old app here on my iPad, but you can use any kind of way, or Excel or a spreadsheet. But it's really, really fun. I also made small remarks with every flight, and it's also very fun to review those flights and have a sense of the excitement or the particular challenge for that flight. And it's a really nice log or track that gives you an idea of yeah, how long I've been studying or practicing to fly. It's really, really fun. Anyways, 286 hours. My gosh. All right. Yeah. Let's close the door. Batteries on. Fuel. Doesn't look good. Good enough for me. Wait a minute. Let's go like this. Done. Apply. That's good. We can hear the gyro spool up. Avionics on. Transponder is off at 1200. That's good. Let's turn down the flaps and see if they go down. And go down in sync. And they do. Up. My ADF is working. My radio stacks are working too. Garmin is starting up. That would be recently nice to learn from someone of high hours that isn't a flight instructor. Yeah, the Rick. I can imagine. Good for you that you started your real world flying as well. I'm considering to do that as well, but it's so expensive here in the Netherlands, and simming gets so much more immersive and so much more social that I'm actually enjoying flight simming a bit more than flying in the real world. Also in the Netherlands, the weather is not that great most of the time. So, all right. So satellite reception, everything is good. Data wave is good as well. COM1, everything, yeah, audio panel, annunciator, that panel looks good too. Let's test it. Yeah, and again, messed around with this one, the nav and GPS mode in the previous flight. I totally forgot about the GPS mode. So I was turning around the OBS and it didn't got a Morse reading for my Seal Beach 4 tag, and I thought, what is going on? And then I noticed, oh my gosh, I'm still in GPS mode. Stupid me. Altimeter setting, we're going to check that soon, but I should already know what the airport elevation is here. 52. Well, something like this. Okay, my head compass is on 200, which is totally off. 200. And set, and everything's at 10 degrees. Fuel quantity is good, and everything's off. Yeah. Circuit breakers. Okay, good. Anything else? No, I don't think so. Off. Let's start up this baby. Bit of a throttle in, fuel pump on, mixture in, positive fuel flow. 2 and 3. Cut off. That sounds good. A donation, Iron Rain. Thank you. $5, €5, I should say. To get the Dutch 2 Fs. Yeah, thanks. Thanks a bunch. Yeah, and I'm really excited to visit Flight Sim Expo next year. If I'm able to raise some money to get there. I mean, it's quite expensive from the Netherlands in, so some flight tickets would be great support. And it would be amazing to meet many other streamers, and Keith again in Florida, Orlando. Thanks for the support. I appreciate it. Alright, let's start her up. No one is walking around. No people flow or anything. Also not behind us. Again, I'm noticing that my X-plane is a bit choppy, which is weird because I didn't change anything other than updating my OBS. So OBS can be a little bit of an interference here, perhaps. Alright, clear prop. Mixture full in. Both oil pressures already in the green. back off our RPMs here to 1200. No unshaded message except for the voltage. Alternator on. Good. Rising the M meter. That's good. Let's lean for ground. See a rise in the RPMs. Still. And there's a drop, so a bit more rich. And reset it to 1000, so we can give our engine a nice warm-up. Hey, Margaret Gamer, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Do you plan to get XB? Yes, finish. Absolutely. Skynext for X-Plane. Obviously. Yeah, I'm really frustrated by the weather engine, the default weather engine here in X-Plane. At least in my configuration, I didn't do anything with it. No plugins or any other stuff. The weather always seems off. No right altimeter setting, or it's just the default altimeter setting of 2992, and the basic winds. It doesn't refresh properly, so I'm hoping that installing Skynext for X-Plane will change that. So as soon as it gets out, I will install it right away. Alright, avionics on. There we go again. Mode C, so we are visible on the radar, and then we can set some initial frequencies. Because we already kind of can expect what to fly. First one is Seal Beach. Now, looking at our flight plan, this is what I filed. Seal Beach, then Victor 21 to the Santa Catalina Vortex. Now, most likely we are not going to get vectors to Seal Beach Vortex first and then get to Victor 21, because it's not really efficient, right? Especially not with us flying through all kinds of crowded airspace in terms of air traffic and stuff. So I guess that the controllers like us to get as far away from John Wayne as quickly as possible. So most likely we get vectors to join Victor 21 or go direct to Catalina Airport, Avalon. But I'm still going to set it nonetheless. Seal Beach 115.7. 115 still is already set. Good. Let's have a listen. That's identified. Good. And then for the nav1, obviously we're going to set the Santa Catalina Vortex 111.4. 111.4. Switch. And we do get a reading, I think. Let's have a listen. Looks good. Alright, identified. That's great from this distance on. That's good. Okay, so any update on the Cessna 172 project? Well, I'm about to, well, not really about to finish my I ratings. We're now at the 7th, but my plan is to get pass for all of my I ratings before Christmas, and then during the holiday break, it's going to be full-on 172 development. So, yeah, it took me a whole year to do this whole IFR season stuff, but yeah, it's so busy. So I'm really grateful that now I've got some time and I'm able to finish my I ratings. So then it's going to be 172 time, and thanks for the interest and the encouragement there, Microsoft. Hope you're doing well. Okay, so that's what we have set, and we don't need any other vortex. No, good. Then I'm interested in the ATIS here at John Wayne, which is 126.0.
Orange County, John Wayne Information Delta. 2000 Zulu weather. Wind light and variable, visibility more than 10. Sky clear, temperature 10, dew point 2. Altimeter 2997. Arriving runways 20 right, 20 left. Departing runways 20 right, 20 left. Advise on initial contact, you have Delta.
Delta. 2997. No. Huh? Want to zoom out, but apparently I'm too close to the turning knob. Yeah. All right. Delta. We got Delta. All right. Then let's get to clearance delivery. and that's going to be 118.0. Should be able to hear PilotEdge. Not yet. We still have 20 minutes to go, guys. So we're not really efficient on fuel. You're burning fuel while we're on the ramp. Well, let's prep then. Grounds, we are on the east side, so 120.8. That's already set. Okay, and if I look at my map here, most likely we're gonna fly 20 something to join Victor 21, so we can set that already. Also set some music on, by the way. Yeah, and the same would go for Seal Beach, I guess. It doesn't really matter that much. Perhaps we're going to fly upwards. We can keep it northbound. Don't really mind that much. Most likely we're not going to fly to Seal Beach. Finish. How can I donate money? Can find the link. That's kind, Finish. I think if you put into chat !donate and hit enter, you'll get a link, or you can find the donate link in one of the information panes on my Twitch panel. Would much appreciate that, Finish. Thanks a bunch. Trusty support already. You guys are too kind. Yeah, so not much to do actually, other than waiting for PilotEdge to go live. I'm a bit early, but I'm ready. So again, the approach. So if we would get assigned vectors to join Victor 21, then this is 0 to 2, and the other way around would be 202. So 202. Yeah, so we're not we'll not be on that same track, obviously. Yeah, so we will kind of we kind of come in here, make a sharp turn northbound. That's also something that I learned in preparation of this particular rating. I initially thought that we should execute the procedure turn exactly around that point. Now, I never looked that up on how you can determine that point, at least depicted here on the chart, and if you look closely you can see you cannot, because there's no DME or anything associated with that point. So then it became clear to me that as soon as you go outbound here and you fly, you pass Wrigley, then at any point here you can make your turn, your procedure turn, to get yourself online or inbound to that localizer or to that VOR radial here, and go to the airport. What's also a small thing, but it's interesting to know, is you can make the procedure turn in any way you like. So you can fly outbound and then turn towards the field, so make a left turn, but you can also do it the other way around. Now I would prefer that direction to the right, because it buys me some additional distance from the airport, so I can have a bit more time to adjust. So that's the drill. And these legs are, I think, by default, but I'm not sure. The procedure turn, I don't think it requires you, but I should look it up. Perhaps one of you guys know, perhaps Finish knows. This outbound procedure turn leg should be 1 minute long. I don't know if there are other instrument approaches where they depict a particular time or distance to fly that outbound leg. I'm not quite sure. Go to eat dinner with the folks. Enjoy. Thanks, Finish. Thanks for dropping by. Wow. 172 degrees. Yes, Microsoft. Cessna 172, flying, heading 172. Yeah, other stuff that we can consider, because we still got some 15 minutes to go, is the departure from John Wayne. Now, John Wayne has all kinds of instrument departure procedures, but because we're 172, and apparently because we can somehow stay away from all of the other instrument departures that are for the turbojets and for the jets, we, I think always on John Wayne as 172s or as pistons, we're going to get assigned vectors for our departure. So not a SID. So we're going to fly, I guess, runway heading, something like that, climb up and get away from this big airspace of John Wayne. So again, the primary mission for ADC is just to get rid of us. We're slow and we are in the way. So we need to get away. We fly over the coast, and yeah, then we'll have to see what will happen, whether we get a particular heading to fly to join Victor 21, or whether we get a direct to the Santa Catalina Vortec. We don't really mind, I guess. And then as soon as we hit the Santa Catalina Vortec, we're gonna go execute the instrument approach, go northbound, and then land. And the Santa Catalina Airport, I was talking about a right base. I mean, I guess we are free once we reach the non-towered airport of Catalina. We can we should listen to CDEF to see what other traffic might already be in the traffic pattern, so we can align ourselves, we can squeeze ourselves in. But even though there might be left traffic by default, I think we're still free to enter on a right base or a right downwind. In our case, that makes sense because we're coming in from the right, from the north in this case, so it would be much more logical to enter on the base and then land, the right base. Although we're also free, as part of a circling approach, to cross the field and join, or even better, cross over the fields, join, and then land, if it was a left-hand traffic pattern. So in any case, with a circling approach, you can do actually whatever as soon as you see the airport. But it's a potentially dangerous kind of procedure. Also with other VFR, potential VFR traffic nearby. And yeah, you're doing your thing, getting yourself aligned with the runway. And especially when you got marginal VMC or IMC, low visibility and stuff, it can get tough, potentially. You can even lose track. You can even get down to minimum, see the airport, or there's some airport lights, execute your circling, and while you're circling around, messing around to get yourself aligned with the runway, set up for a landing, lose contact with the airport. And yeah, then you need to execute a missed approach. So a lot of stuff can go wrong actually with these circling approach. Now we got perfect weather today, so it's going to be fine, but still. Mark, standard procedure for that is 1 minute indeed. Thanks, Mark. I guess you're referring to the procedure term, right? Thanks for confirming that. Captain, 8 p.m. What runway is in use? Well, here on John Wayne, we can have a look at the METAR. Still got 10 minutes to go. I started to stream much too early, but in any case, let's have a look. KSNA, our departure airports. Weather. What do we have? We've got winds, 4 knots coming from 050. No, these winds are calm, so you could say, well, it favors already a particular runway that we can fly. coming from 0.5. But because winds are calm, it doesn't really matter. It's not really significant wind in terms of departures or traffic flows on an airport. So in this case, we can just the default kind of departure runways are in use. The wind's calm runways, and in this case, it will be a 20 left, 20 right here on John Wayne. I guess the winds need to be as strong as around 10 knots or 10 knots plus in the opposite direction of the default runway assignments, where ATC is actually going to use swap over operations. And that can happen also here on PilotEdge, but not with these weak winds. So this is the METAR at John Wayne. Let's have a look at Catalina. Before I started to fly, it was looking good. At Catalina we got 310 at 8, so a bit stronger winds. And they do favor runway 22, so our particular instrument approach, so that's good. Quite a bit of a crosswind, 10 statute miles of visibility in clear skies. Catalina doesn't have a TAF, so no terminal forecast, weather forecast. And this is from Long Beach, which is, yeah, quite far away. Near us here at John Wayne. You can see the winds are picking up, gusty to 23 knots. But that's a forecast. If you look at 0 to, I cannot zoom in here, so I hope you guys can see the first line there of the TAF in green. 0213/0312 means I believe it means the 2nd of December over to the 3rd of December. Generally speaking, this is what the winds will be doing. They will become quite strong. Ronald, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome to the stream. 6 statute miles of visibility scattered, 25,000. 0 to 1500 Zulu, the 3rd line. So we're currently at, what's the current time? Zulu time? We're currently at left up corner 1547 Zulu. So yeah, if we look at the 3rd and the 4th line, you can see that the winds are actually kind of staying the same. They shift a tiny bit. Visibility stays the same. Scattered clouds at 25,000. So usually it's just static weather. It's just perfect flying weather today at in Southern California. So a perfect flight to do IFR, or perhaps not, because we like to have IMC. Taxi! Hey Tim, nice to see you. Nice to see you too, man. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. So yeah, burning some time here. I was a bit quick with streaming. 9 minutes until PilotEdge goes live, and as soon as PilotEdge goes live, we're gonna grab our IFR clearance for the I-7 to get to Catalina. It's gonna be a nice flight. 2nd time visiting Catalina, which is interesting. And then perhaps even tomorrow, and perhaps even the day after. So let's say next week, this upcoming week, I'm hopefully also going to do my I-8 and my I-10 and my I-11. Really looking forward to the I-10. The I-10 seems to be the Cat 10 rating version. I mean, it's the most difficult, complex version, at least in my mind when I read the I-10 rating description. With a missed approach and then diverting to another airport. That one looks really, really cool. And the I-8 will be, so the next rating. Now we're arriving at a non-towered airport, IFR, which is kind of cool. And then the next flight, the I-8 rating, even, well, considering, assuming that I will pass for this rating, the I-8, the next stream, we will depart from a non-towered airfield. And both arriving at an non-towered field and departing from a non-towered field, we already practice as part of my own curriculum at UncertifiedPilot.com, as you may know. So I'm already a bit familiar, but yeah, as we've seen also in the previous stream, there are always little things that I mess up or I forget. Yeah, it was really, really interesting yesterday. Captain, did you fix your throttle bug? No, but I reported it at the SimCoders. I'm also part of the beta team. Beta testing team. So what I was noticing is on final, short final, or on final, when I'm coming in and I'm my hardware throttle is fully idle. I've also calibrated my throttle here in the X-plane, so it seems to be fully idle. I'm still running at around 1300 RPMs coming in, and that seems a bit high to me. And I'm also noticing they're not really slowing down because of that. And that seems a bit unusual, at least in my mind, thinking about previous flights. So I've reported that as a possible bug of the current build of the reality extension pack for the 172. Don't know if that's the case. Perhaps it's that happens in real world 172s as well. When you're coming in and you're idling, that you will be idling at a higher RPM, which doesn't surprise me, by the way. Obviously we'll be idling on a higher RPM than when we're on the ground static, because wind is rushing by and also making the propeller turn. But 1300 RPMs, that seems a bit high to me. Five minutes, guys. Let's see if there's anything else that we can talk about in preparation of this flight. So 4000 MEA, minimum en route altitudes. I filed Seal Beach, Victor 21 to the Santa Catalina Vortec. Once we're going to hit Santa Catalina Vortec, we're going to go up north on that radial. Once we pass Wrigley, we're going to get down to 3400. And then at any time we can decide to make our procedure turn, which I'm not going to do exactly once we hit Wrigley, because I like to buy myself some time, some room to get adjusted to the radial and get inbound to Santa Catalina. So then the outbound 1 minute, as Mark confirmed, make a right turn 172 degrees, and then fly inbound on their radial. Now, as Finish already suggested, we should actually fly this flight at Slant Alpha. I filed Slant Golf, we can use the GPS as well. But it's a very straightforward kind of flight. It is good to be in tune with my Slant Alpha management in the cockpit. So that means that once we are flying, so we're coming in, we are turning around, outbound leg, past Wrigley. So we prepare for our procedure turn. So there we go. Then in this leg, we are flying the 352 radial outbound. But as soon as we are on this outbound procedure turn leg, we should actually switch our OBS to the inbound leg, because once we turn around, we're not interested in the outbound radial anymore, but we'll like to go inbound. And otherwise we get reverse sensing kind of issues, with the needle. So that's an important procedural cockpit thing. And then we go down 3400 and we pass Wrigley once more, 5 nautical miles away from the Santa Catalina Vortec. And this time around, I hope that I will not forget checking my altimeter setting. Once we're at Wrigley, or 5 DME away from the Santa Catalina Vortec, my altimeter should read 2300. It's a check. That's what the final approach fix is for. Because if my altimeter is off, then if I were in IMC, then I cannot trust my altimeter, obviously, and I might run into obstacles. And that's a particular issue here with the Santa Catalina, or the Catalina Air Island, because there's all kinds of terrain there. So especially for today's flights, I should be able to remember that. But I guess because these are one shots, I mean, I'm doing the next rating and the next rating, and I'm because there's usually a few weeks in between, I do not really drill and practice these kind of subtle, well, they are subtle things, but they're really important. To checking my altimeter setting and all kinds of other stuff that we talked about yesterday in the previous stream. So what I've been planning to do is to do a really complex practice IFR flight, and I will stream that as well at some point, where we're going to take off from John Wayne, go to Long Beach airport, very nearby, just a few miles, and fly that particular approach, and then we do a touch and go and take off again and get back to John Wayne, and we're continuously doing instrument approach after instrument approach, and with every round a different approach. So sometimes a non-precision and a precision approach, so we can do multiple approaches in a few hours, and that's the way to really do some power training and drill some stuff in, which is going to be really challenging and fun. So that's up later. Captain, you have a lot of fuel for hop over to Catalina. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I just raised the bar, so we don't have any fuel concerns here, which is just fine. All right, 1 minute left until PilotEdge goes live. What I could also do, because I'm noticing that you guys cannot see my cursor, which is not that important, but let's see if I can change that. Capture cursor. Done. Yes. So I can point to things you guys can see. Engine is already warm, obviously. Transient parking, so we're just on the east ramp. We got Delta. So we're just waiting for the PilotEdge controller at any moment now to say, hey, we're live. 1800 was checked, right? Clearance delivery 18. Yeah. At any moment now. PilotEdge. PilotEdge has just released, or has just launched a merchandise site where we can finally buy some hoodies and cups and other kinds of stuff with PilotEdge logos on it. It's really cool. Just ordered myself a hoodie. Check out the forums or Twitter. PilotEdge posted a link with merch, which is cool. Hey Lena, coming online now to do my Cat 10, new to PilotEdge. What a great service they provide. They do. They do. It's really great service, and there's a really nice community. We should receive something. I'm getting an RX on my GPS here, as you can see in the left top corner. But I'm not receiving anything sensible. Cranking up my volume, but at any moment...
Central aircraft, local time now 0800, all PilotEdge control positions are now open. Class Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, and Delta airspace procedures are in effect. All airborne aircraft operating IFR contact nearest tower, contact the nearest approach center facility. All airborne aircraft in the Class Bravo, Charlie, or Delta airspace contact nearest tower or approach facility. All aircraft on the ground operating movement areas contact the robot ground controller.
That was really fast. Jamming clearance, good day. Sky Pop Delta Tango Mike on the east run with Delta IFR to Santa to Catalina today for the I-7 rating, please.
Hotel Tango Landing Mike, jamming clearance. Santa Catalina Airport on departure flight heading 210, radar vector Seal Beach, That's filed. Maintain 2,000. Expect 4,000. 5 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 128.1. Squawk 6350.
Papa Hotel Tango Mike is clear to Catalina, heading 210 after departure, radar vector Seal Beach, then as filed, climb to 2, expect 4 after 5, 128.1 for departure, and squawk 6350.
PHA, I'm reading correct, and don't know if it matters to you, but you don't have the hash mark in your call sign today. I don't know if you do any like PE aware tracking, but that might change things.
Yeah, someone told me that I should get away, should remove the dash from my aircraft identifier. So I think I removed it from my flight plan and also from my PilotEdge Connect thing. Is that correct, or are you referring to something else?
No, that's fine. If you're doing it for that reason, that's fine. It's just some people are into like tracking their flights on PE aware, and if you change the call sign any, it'll mess up what you're tracking. That's all. Not a big deal.
Ah, Roger, thanks for the heads up. Yeah, we'll think about that. So, the idea is I'm usually referring to myself as Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, right? And usually when I sign into PilotEdge, I use the dash, Papa Hotel dash Tango India Mike, like the real identifier in the real world. And I did so for many, many years, until one controller and also some of you guys on chat said, well, the PilotEdge system doesn't like the dash, so remove it. And then I removed it, just fine. But that means that PilotEdge now thinks that there are two Papa Hotel Tango India Mikes, one with a dash and one without. And so now I'm logging hours for a different Papa Hotel Tango India Mike than my usual account. And well, Joe is saying, are you aware of that? Which is really, really kind of him. I don't really mind. I have my own logbook, so.
It's a little bit of muffled.
What does craft stand for? Well, first one is clearance, then it's the route, then altitude, frequency, and the transponder. So it's an acronym that you can use to write things down, but it's not really that necessary, to be honest, Microsoft. But yeah. All right, we got clearance. That's good. 210 radar vector Seal Beach. And then as filed. Yeah, so as expected, so that's great. We're already warmed up. We already got our frequencies in. What I
clearance radio check.
Can do. Was that Joe or was that someone else doing a radio check? Well, I don't care.
Alex, I'm about to call for a radio check, loud and clear.
Right. All right, I do want to... I'm not going to use the GPS as Finish was poking me about.
Skyhawk 172, Charlie Golf, Charlie Echo Oscar. Northbound parking, north departure for the mini route. Ready for taxi with Mike for the Cat 10.
Would I? It's a situational awareness. No, we're going to fly slant Alpha.
Charlie Golf, Charlie Echo Oscar.
What do I have set again?
So you were just saying you're...
Let's quit the COM1 for just a sec. Seal Beach was 115.7. And I've got that in my nav 2. Okay, so that's here at the bottom. Perfect. Seal Beach, we can expect vectors to Seal Beach. Most likely we're not. And if so, we're going to, I guess, get vectors to join Victor 21. Which is 202. So we can already set that one, so we are prepared. Thanks for the follow, Cooper. Thanks. 202. There we go. That's fine. And then for my nav 1, I've set the Santa Catalina nav 111.4. Roger. Yeah. And as soon as we're going to fly, is there a changeover point here on my map? So because we're flying from one vortex to the other, we're flying a airway. Usually when these are really far away, there might be a changeover point where the architects of the airways like us to change over from using one vortex to the other. But in this case I don't see that symbol here. Let me just give you a quick idea of what that symbol looks like. This symbol. This. That's a really important symbol if you're flying Slant Alpha. 24 miles on the other way and 90 nautical miles on the other. They like to change over because otherwise your reception of the vortex will be a mess or unreliable. In this case, I don't see such a symbol here on this map. These are two maps overlapping, so perhaps that's the problem. I'm not quite sure. Click. No. Okay, so then as soon as we're at... we can just fly the nav2 for Victor 21, and then as part of the instrument approach, we can fly the Santa Catalina outbound 352 radial. Already got a reading, so that's good. We already checked those, and this means that with the procedure turn we're going to switch that over to 172. Okay, good, ready to go. Let's get our scratch pad again. Switch over to a new sheet. Switch to ground. We can already put in tower already. Tower 420 left, 119.9, obviously. I should have already know this by heart. Good. Dash, how far are you from your IFR? Well, here on PilotEdge, I'm now currently rating 7, and I need to do the 8th. 9 is inactive, I think. So it's 8, 10, and 11, I believe. So 3 ratings left to do. Taxi, the reverse symbol is also because of different local magnetic variation. Ah, interesting, Taxi, thanks. Alrighty. East ramp, Delta, ready to taxi, yeah. And John Wayne ground, good day. Skyhawk Papa Hotel, Tango Mike is on the east ramp with Delta, ready for taxi. Ah, COM1 is off. Because I turned it off. Yeah. John Wayne ground, good day. Skyhawk Papa Hotel, Tango Mike on the east ramp with Delta, ready for taxi.
So that's the Tango New Mike, John Wayne ground, runway 20 left, taxi via Alpha Hotel, Charlie Kilo.
20 left, Alpha Hotel, Charlie Kilo for Papa Hotel, Tango Mike. And I'm familiar with that route. Park and brakes, released. Brake test, works. Let's turn around here. Slip indicator, turn indicator works, heading indicator works, everything else is stable. Good. Let's go. No ground vehicles here rushing by. Yeah, that showed you got ratings. PilotEdge is really cool. It's a multiplayer online network of ATC controllers, actual proper ATC, VFR, IFR, the whole bunch, but also other pilots making use of that network. So you also see other pilots flying. And that's cool. For different regions, usually the west coast of the US, and it's expanding and expanding and expanding. It's quite huge already. And as part of that service, they also provide you ratings, check rides, so to speak, for VFR flight and for IFR flight, that teach you all about VFR and IFR flying, but also give you a sense of achievement, where you can get those check rides, and those are registered on their site, which is really cool.
IFR to San Francisco.
That's Charlie. There we go. No, that's true. You don't have to fly the ratings, but if you fly on PilotEdge, you make a mess. You got all kinds of reports because you're bashing airspace or not doing things properly. Then they will make it mandatory for you to pass the I ratings first. But usually that never happens. So if you're a good pilot, especially if you already own your PPL,
Roger that. Delta 840 clear.
or not, it doesn't really matter. You can fly whatever you like on online on PilotEdge. But the I ratings are a really good motivation to, well, learn about VFR or IFR flying, perfect your flight skills, and the whole ATC stuff is so engaging. And also the community, by the way, is also a big chunk for me. A lot of people who are using PilotEdge sim pilots are really experienced, good people. So I also enjoy very much the community surrounding, or that is PilotEdge, on the forums, here in the chat. Knowledgeable, serious sim pilots, which is really cool. Alrighty. 210 for the radar vector. Seal Beach, 2000 initially, then 4000. Oh. Very low volume there.
That's 1720, Bob. You're still muffled, but I can hear you.
Kilo. Let's do a check here. Engine oil is warm enough, so 1800. Oh, not too much. 1800. No initiated messages. Vacuum's in the green. Oil pressure is good. Everything is stable. Mag check looks good. Other mag test looks good as well. Back to both. Let's go idle.
CEO towards tower runway 29.
Oil pressure still in the green.
280,
No weird sounds and no uninitiated messages. Good.
Takeoff runway 29 right. Charlie Golf, Charlie Echo Oscar.
To the right, that one goes down. That one goes up, down. Thanks for the follow, Dash. Appreciate it. Rudders work as well. Landing lights on, strobe lights on. Already like my departure frequency 128.1 in my standby for. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I should have switched first to tower. And tower was 119.9. 119.9. Switch. And then my standby to, what was it? 128.1? 128.1, so we can switch over while climbing. That's good. And again, I mean, this is stuff that I can really mess up. In my nav 2. Hello, Seal Beach, 115.7. Yeah, my nav 2 is Seal Beach. So once we're instructed to join Victor 21, I need to look at my nav 2. And this is my primary instrument. Yeah, and this is, I already know that this is not the right scheme. You should always be consistent. So nav 1 should actually be the first beacon to fly to. And then that one, and then the standby of this one, and then the standby of this one. So you always know how to read your... Now I'm messing things up, but let's see. If I fail, that will be the final time that I fail for doing that or messing that up. Looking at the bottom, and this is the from, yeah, because we're flying away, that's good. And this is already once we reach Catalina. Yes, the 8 is from Catalina. I'm also interested in, by the way. Should have prepared this already in advance. ASOS 120.67.
Torrance Tower, Charlie Golf, Charlie Echo Oscar, requesting to switch to Hopper and Tower.
120.67. Thanks for the follows, guys. Thanks, Mark. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Alright, already in the active. Good. So, ADIS is ready. My navigation is ready. My instructions were to fly 210, which 210, not 20. So 210 should be there, Tim. 210.
Charlie Echo Oscar, pick a change route.
Radar vector Seal Beach and 2000 initially, and then switch over. 6350 is set. Good. All right, Tim. Man.
Tower, Charlie Golf, Charlie Echo Oscar, Cessna Skyhawk 172. Requesting northbound for the mini route. CGCEO, Hawthorne Tower, squawk 7014, report to you. Hawthorne and 405 interchange.
7014 in the box, and
Well, Dash, that's a complex matter.
Charlie Oscar.
Not quite sure what the answer, a good answer would be. Let me see. And John Wayne Tower, Sky Papa Delta Tango Mike. Holding short 20 left at Kilo, ready for departure. IFR.
Buffalo Hotel Tango, Mike, John Wayne Tower, wind 010 at 3, runway 20 left at Kilo, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, 20 left at Kilo, Papa Delta Tango Mike. Alright, there we go guys, I-7 time. Line up, always double check. No one on short final. No one on the runway.
CEO, contact LE Tower, 119.8, see you.
Make sure full in, lights are on. Thanks for the follows, guys. Lamaine Pyama, thanks. Happy Sunday, everyone. Alright, full power. Sounds good. RPM is good. Oil pressure, everything is stable. Airspeed is alive 40. 50. 60.
Say altitude.
And rotate.
2500 Charlie Golf, Charlie Oscar.
Allow my airspeed to increase first to VY.
Cessna CEO, radar contact, clear to Bravo airspace, mini route north, now maintain VFR 2500, LA altimeter 3003.
Clear to class Bravo airspace, altimeter 3003, and will remain at 2500 VFR for Charlie Golf, Charlie Oscar.
To 400 feet AGL first. 300 flaps up. There's 400, then a rate turn, 210.
Contact departure.
Over the departure, Papa Delta Mike. Switch. And so departure, Sky Papa Delta Tango Mike, climbing through 700s.
Papa Delta Tango Mike, SoCal departure, radar contact, climb maintain 4000.
Say again that for Papa Delta Mike, I didn't catch it, you broke off.
PHM, climb maintain 4000.
4,000, Papa Delta Mike. Didn't quite catch him. 4,000 it is, so the initial 2,000 we can throw away. So can trim a bit. There we go. Engine's still looking good.
CGCEO, remember when you're doing, anytime you're doing a VFR charted procedure that has instrument guidance, that's always just a fallback or a backup to help you find your way. But you can fly visually, so just remember it's the 25 left numbers and 24 right numbers.
Now, I'm expecting that the controller likes us to get as far away from John Wayne as quickly as possible. So most likely we're going to fly 210 and just fly away. Get rid of or get away from all of the standard instrument departures, other traffic here with our slow going 172. Landing lights off. Double check 210 on the compass is also 210 on the heading indicator. Altimeter setting is still good. Attitude indicator is good. Speed is good. Temperature outside 5 degrees, but no real visible moisture we're flying through, so no pitot heat. Fuel quantity is good. HT is goodish. 3,000 feet MSL, we're going to change that and lean our mixture. Temps are good. Pressure is good. Vacuum is good. M's are good. No circuit breakers stuff. And lights we just checked. What are we doing? We're flying. We should be flying 210. We're drifting off to 4,000. Nav 2 is Seal Beach. Nav 1 is Santa Catalina Vortec. Don't want to mess that up.
PHJ up, clear direct Santa Catalina.
Direct to Catalina, Papa Delta Mike. Nice. So Catalina direct. That means that we're gonna switch over this OBS that was set for our instrument departure. And that means that we need to fly 225. So no joining of a Victor 21, even though we filed it. And this is also why it's always good to have a sense of your entire flight plan, also some surrounding vortex and names, so as soon as HC becomes creative, you know what they're referring to, or you know what they're doing, like you to do. 1,000 feet to go. We're 3,000 feet, so now we can lean our mixture, become more fuel efficient, and get a better fuel burn performance. There we go.
Departure frequency 128.1, squawk 1765.
It's looking good. Again, double check, 230-ish. Yeah, so we're still good on the heading indicator. Really weary for gyro drift. And we are already flying across the ocean. Look at that.
Papa Delta, read back correct?
No autopilot, 500 feet to go. Alright. COM2 is enabled. We're not able to pick up Catalina ASOS just yet, and it could be that it's not really implemented in X-plane at all. So then we're gonna lie that we got the weather. 200 feet to go. There we go, level off, push the nose. I'm not going to change any power settings. Thanks for the follow, Mycroft. Thanks. Thanks guys for all the follows. It's getting cozy here in a 172 with 50 people on board. Alright, so we're increasing our speed to cruise, which is around here. Then I'm going to reset my power setting to around 2300 because I think that sounds nice. Then I'm going to wait until my airspeed is kind of stable while I'm still pushing on that yoke. And now I know it's stable, and now I can start trimming downwards. There we go. Alright, 4,000. What are we doing? Direct to the Santa Catalina vortex. We can already see the island far in the distance if you look closely. Perfect flying weather today. And again, we're in cruise. Same check. 230 on the compass. But we're flying 225 on the heading indicator. So let's change that up. 2230. Alright. Altimeter setting, still the same. Speed, if we want to be fancy, we can reset it to adjust to get our true airspeed, 4,000. So we're flying 100 and a bit more. We filed 105 knots true airspeed for our cruise. So we're right on the money.
Charlie Golf, Charlie Echo, Oscar Van Nuys Tower, and a right downwind runway 16 right, report midfield.
We are 22 nautical miles away from the Santa Catalina vortex.
And CGC, I'm sorry, make a straight in for runway 34 left.
2 degrees outside, no moist, visible moisture. We're flying through, so no pitot heat. Fuel quantity is good, EGT is goodish.
And wind 34010, CGC, runway 16.
Can improve that a bit more. No, doesn't look good. So apparently this is the best that we can do with our EGT. Temps are good, pressure is good, vacuum is good, amps are good. We got no annunciator messages, circuit breakers are in, lights are all good, and we're ready to go. What are we doing? Again, flying straight towards Santa Catalina vortex, and then we're gonna initiate our pretty approach, which means that as soon as we come in from Santa Catalina, we're going to go northbound, outbound on the 352 radial. Then once we are past Wrigley at any point, we're going to execute that procedure turn, make a right turn back, and in this switch I'm going to switch over from the OBS from 352 to 172, because then we need to fly inbound for that radial. And we're flying down to 3,400. When we pass Wrigley, we'll most likely already be switched over to the CTAF of Santa Catalina. And we can already cancel IFR at that moment, because most likely we can already see the airport from here. Yeah.
Alright, 71 Kilo Victor, John Wayne clearance. Clear to John Wayne Airport. On departure, fly heading 175.
Interesting stuff. It's so much fun, guys. Flying IFR, my gosh. This is so cool.
128.1
It's also nice that it's a short flight over the ocean. Look at that. Again, noticing that my X-plane is a bit choppy here, which is new. So I think it has to do with my OBS upgrades or something. All right, 17.0 nautical miles.
1 Kilo Victor, read back correct.
Don't fly all those red lines. No taxi. Are you on 3? No, I'm not, I think, taxi. Hey, Looper, good to see you. I'm not on the Beta 6, I think. Perhaps that might do, but... or it might cause a problem, I'm not sure. Again, I'm still on COM2 active for the ASOS, but I'm not getting any reception. You've got a 12 knot wind blowing us from the right to the left. If you look at my GNS there at the bottom of the plan view, you can see an arrow pointing to the left, and that explains why I'm being... I mean, I should fly 225, but I'm flying 240, and I'm still getting pushed away from my radial, so it has to be wind. And that's confirmed. A little bit of a trim up there. Don't want to go any further down. As part of a check ride, I should be able to actually stay within 100 feet.
PHTIM, clear to wreck Santa Catalina, contact SoCal departure 127.4.
Clear direct to Santa Catalina 127.4, about to direct. 127.4. We're already clear direct to Santa Catalina, so I'm not quite sure what that means. And SoCal approach, car corporate Tango max level 4000.
Scott Papa Hotel, Tango Indy Mike SoCal approach, the Catalina altimeter 3003, advise weather and approach request.
03 for the altimeter, and we have the weather. We'd like to fly the VOR DME Bravo approach into Santa Catalina.
Yes, JM, roger, cross Santa Catalina 4000, clear VOR DME Bravo approach.
Crossover 4000 Santa Catalina, and we're cleared for the VOR DME approach into Santa Catalina. Papa Tango Mike. Good. That's good. So, yeah. We're clear the approach. That's good. We need to cross over Santa Catalina Vortex at 4000. That's good as well. We're already heading towards Santa Catalina. And we've got 12 nautical miles to go, so we've got plenty of time to prepare. Well, I cheated by saying that we got the weather. We don't have the weather, because apparently this is not implemented in X-Plane, or not in my X-Plane. Still trying to catch that radial. The beautiful island of Santa Catalina is coming up. So, let me show you. 4000.
Alpha Hotel Charlie Kilo.
So again, this is the instrument approach. So Santa Catalina is over there. and we need to cross it at 4,000, and then we're already cleared for the approach. Watch my altitude here. So as soon as we cross over Santa Catalina and we're going to execute the approach, we can do whatever is depicted here on the charts, right? Important to note is that as soon as we fly over Wrigley the first time, outbound,
Charlie Echo Oscar, Roger taxi to parking.
then we can descend on our own accord to 3,400. And then once we are on the inbound leg, heading over Wrigley once more, we can go down to 2,300 as our final approach fix. We're going to do that altimeter check. For God's sake, I always forget that. Forget doing that. See it also here on the GPS. Coming in. And we get down to 2,220. Circling approach, and we're going to enter the right base for runway 22.
2 Papa Delta gentlemen, ground runway 20 right taxi via via Bravo Kilo.
Still drifting off a bit. Look at that island, my gosh. This is pretty. Alright. So as soon as we're going to hit Santa Catalina Vortex, I'm going to change this thing over to 352. I can already set my heading bug to 352 as a memory aid. And then we're going to go up north, yeah. So again, something that I can improve on is be a bit more precise with my altitudes and my nav 1 needle flying. I'm still legal though, but can be improved. Still trimming up a bit. That's why our wind has shifted just a tiny bit, 13 knots coming from the right now, so we've lose our tailwind, and that's why we're flying slower, and that's why I'm keep trimming up. 7 nautical miles until we reach Santa Catalina. Can we already spot the airport? Yeah, I think we can. There it is. Good. We can already set the CTAF, by the way, in the standby, 122.7. So we can quickly switch over while we're doing all kinds of other important stuff. Thanks for the subscription, Kim. Another month already. Yeah, it's going quick. Thanks for the support, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for dropping by again, also yesterday. Really appreciate your support. The I-7, I hope I pass. I hope. Let's do another flow. 230. We're still in sync with our heading indicator. Altimeter was... I didn't do that, by the way. I didn't change my altimeter setting, even though we got a read. It was 03, I think. Let's do that. 03. 03. Yeah, so that's something I forgot. The altimeter setting is important. And I didn't change it while I was reading back that we were cleared for the VOR-DME approach. Again, using the GPS here for some situational awareness. Three nautical miles. There we are, Santa Catalina. What a beautiful island. Deserted island, but here in the ocean it looks pretty.
HIM, you have your approach clearance, correct?
Correct. Spokdozivek. It was also mentioning my my direct to Santa Catalina Vortec 2 times. Alright, 10 or 2 nautical miles away from the Santa Catalina Vortec. So we're about to turn to 352. Around here. It's close enough for me. 4,000 still.
2 Papa Delta, gentleman tower running 20 right at Kilo Cliff takeoff.
3, 5. Oh. Come on. 352-ish. Let's fly a bit this direction and capture that radial. Because the radial is still to our left, so I'm going to capture that a bit. And it should come in at any moment. And then once we are 5 nautical miles away from the Santa Catalina Vortec, we are at Wrigley. There's the needle movement. And once we pass Wrigley, then we can go down to 3,400. .352.
That's 172 Sierra Papa, radar contact 10 miles northeast Santa Maria Airport,
All right.
3011.
So far so good. Already prep my stopwatch here. Let's go a bit to the left here. We're flying a radial, not a heading. 3.3 nautical miles, so we're not at Wrigley yet. Taxi, you should fly, man. Come on. I was too busy with work, so I couldn't fly either for a couple of weeks, but I know you're an avid flyer, sim pilot as well. Let's trim down a bit. I'm still suffering from that trim issue with the tailwind changing. All right, 4 nautical miles. So again, looking at the map. Wrigley, 5 nautical miles away from the... thanks for the follow, Puck. Thanks. Welcome. Then we can go down to 3,400.
So 1 kill, Victor. When you're short of your assigned point, you can go ahead and contact tower. Go ahead and contact Gentleman Tower now.
And there's 5. So let's go down. 3,400. I mean, we don't have to go down, by the way. We can also stay at 4,000. And at this time, we can already start our procedure turn, but I'm not going to do that. I'd like to have a little bit more distance between me and the airport.
You have 2 Papa Delta, SoCal departure, radar contact. TBM 2 Papa Delta, climb maintain 900,000.
Climb maintain 900,000, TBM 2 Papa Delta.
Our heading indicator and our compass are still in sync. Still a bit away from the radial. 15 knot wind, guys. It's going to be a tough landing. Well, we can start our turn right here. 307. It's going to be our outbound turn for the procedure turn. There's 307. Keep that nose down. And we can hit 1 minute, by the way. 3400, level off.
971 Kilo Victor, I'll say it again. When you're holding short of your assigned point, you can go ahead and contact the tower. There's nothing, ground can do nothing for you.
Let's put on our landing lights. We're also around 3000, make sure full in. Come on, stay up.
Yeah, when you're at your assigned position for departure, you can call the tower for departure because tower gives takeoff clearance, it's not ground.
At this time we can switch over to 172. As rehearsed, 172-ish. Because now we're going to fly that same radial inbound to the airport. 50 seconds on the clock. Still not really trimmed yet, apparently. That's 1 minute. Make a right turn. Again, buying myself a little bit more time. To 127. Stand a right turn. Bit more right rudder.
Talking about your November to Papa Delta, just a question. Can I join Victor 25?
Not in your current, with your current clearance, no. Number 2 Papa Delta, clear direct, that's it, passive.
Direct passive, yeah, that was my question with my clearance that I had, thanks.
You can already see the radial coming in on the nav 1, so even though I'm expecting to fly, well, we could shallow it off, I guess. And because we're now inbound, we can go down. We can go down to 2300.
John Wayne Tower, runway 20
There's
left.
our radial.
You should be at 20 left at Kilo. Runway 20 left, full length, clip to go.
Let's go down. 172-ish, but we got a wind pushing us from the right to the left. Looking at my GPS.
Kilo Victor, disregard. You're not at Lima. You're at Kilo.
So let's fly a bit more to the west.
Place. Number 971 Kilo Victor, runway 20 left at Kilo. Clip to go.
We're going fast. We're not at a Charlie Bravo airport, so don't have to go that fast. 2300.
PHTIM, change of advisory frequency approved. For chart cancellation, remits approach this frequency.
I will switch to the frequencies and talk to you soon. No problem. Alright, 1 to 2.7. Let's fly the radial, Tim. Santa Catalina traffic, Sky Papa Hotel Tango India. Mike is 6 miles to the north at 3000 inbound for a full stop landing runway 22. We're going to enter the right base for runway 22. Papa Hotel Tango Mike, Santa Catalina traffic. Come on, fly the radial, Tim. This is too much off. We're still to the north of Wrigley. So I was a bit too extreme with correcting for the winds. Apparently. Come on. I guess I should be a little bit more extreme doing that. Alright, so we pass Wrigley. 2300, so we can go further down to 2200. 2220. 2220. Now we have the airport in sight, so we can continue. Can you put one notch of flaps in? Landing lights are on. Mixture is full in. Keep our speed a bit up. I can see the airports. Airport is over there. Let's continue. let's make our turn here. And Santa Catalina traffic, Skyport Hotel Tango Mike is turning right base, runway 22 for a full stop. Santa Catalina. Alright, 22. On the right of my heading indicator. Let's put on track IR here. There we go, guys. Into the white band with my speed. So another notch of flaps, 20 degrees. Push down on the yoke. Don't hear any other traffic. I don't see any other traffic. And that's something that is really, really important as an IFR flight. We are now flying potentially among other VFR traffic. So there's no tower here. So we are responsible for traffic separation, which is not obvious. Good. We're a bit high. Let's turn around. Ah, there's some traffic. But it's a helicopter, I think. Overshot. I was distracted. Santa Catalina traffic, Skyport Hotel Tango Mike is on short final runway 22, full stop. Santa Catalina. Yeah, there's a helicopter coming in. Well, we got a slope runway as we rehearsed. Another helicopter to the right. My gosh. Alright. Interesting. What an airport. What an approach, guys. Isn't it cool? Strong winds. Don't stall on me now, baby. 22. 22. And left rudders. Right aileron. Oh. Oh. My goodness. Right. Ailerons in. Oh, man. I'm proud of that run. Right ailerons. It's always tempting then when you do a crosswind landing and once you touch down you remove all of the aileron input, but Santa Catalina traffic, Skyport Hotel Tango Mike is clear runway 22 taxiing back to the ramp, Santa Catalina. Alright. There's the helicopter. Helicopters are dangerous for our 172s because the downwash of the winds can actually tumble us over if we're not careful. Parking brakes sets. Oh. 1,000. Let's lean for ground. Something like this. Landing lights off and strobe lights off. Now we're going to switch back to the approach frequency because these guys do not know whether we have landed or not. So we need to say, hey, we landed. Cancel our IFR.
Approach.
Otherwise, search and rescue would come in.
Keep up with Delta contact, SoCal approach 119.6.
119.6, have a nice day.
And SoCal approach, Skyport Hotel Tango Mike is safely on the ground at Catalina. Cancel our IFR.
Yeah, Cheyenne, pass for I-7. Have a good day. See ya.
Thanks for the pass and have a good day as well, Joe. Papa to the green. Yes!
656 Foxtrot, Papa. Nice clearance.
Switch back to the CTAF. That was a fun flight. That was a really, really fun flight. Don't you think, guys? Thanks, Kim. Scamper733, good to see you as well. Thanks. At beautiful Santa Catalina. Strong crosswind, beautiful landing, and we're gonna review that on the video recorder soon. Just a bit. Also, if you got any comments or feedback on my flying, please let me know. That's how I actually develop my flight skills here on the stream. Because you guys help me become the sim pilot I am. Let me see. Yeah, where are we going to park? Well, let's park it to the right to the caravan there. What a nice, cute airport. Helicopters everywhere, which doesn't surprise me on such a beautiful island. Alright, let's turn around. Not really the most ideal place to park because most likely there will be airplanes taxiing right in front of us. Alrighty then. So here we are. Then first, transponder off. VFR 1200, good. We can turn off our individual radio secs. Why? Because I just like to switch things on my SciTech panels. That's good. Then we can... Whoa! Hello, helicopter. Avionics off. Quick mag test. I see RPM drop and cut off. Gun. Magneto's off. Batteries off. And we open our door. And there we are on Santa Catalina, while a helicopter is teleporting everywhere. Pass for the I-7. Yes! I'm pleased. Yeah, let's do a quick review. Also buy some time for the controller to put in my I-7 rating, so we not disconnect and we do not have our I-7 rating. So, any learning points? The only thing that I'm noticing is the fact that I've was a bit sloppy with the altitudes and the radial with the needle. And I was still within limits, but that could be much more precise, especially also with the inbound lag for the instrument approach. So in this chunk, while we were flying this part here with this radial, I was really far off, too much far off, even though I was quite pleased that I was aware of this crosswind and I thought, oh, let's correct for it. It didn't really happen that I didn't really fix it at all. I actually exaggerated the problem. Yeah, I could be a little bit more precise, but in terms of ATC, in terms of situational awareness, in terms of checks, also with my final approach checks, and also my landing, crosswind landing, I'm really pleased. All right, let's review the landing, guys. Disconnect.
Disconnected.
Also close the door for aesthetics. Let's have a look. Yeah, we disconnected there. Yeah. Zoof. There we came in. There we go. Our traffic. Our flight path. Yeah, so we came in from Victor 21-ish, kind of. We departed from John Wayne Vector. Then we were direct to Santa Catalina Vortec. We went to Santa Catalina Vortec, then turned around and got northbound. And we got northbound. Then we made our procedure turn. Yeah, I was a bit surprised how quickly the radial already came in. So a 1 minute outbound lag is already quite short in my mind. I would have liked to have a little bit more time to capture the radial, but it went great. But 1 minute, yeah, plus I would say. And then I came in. I was a bit sloppy here. You can see, not really a straight line at all. So that was the thing that I was just talking about. Then I came in, and then as soon here I executed my right base and got to land. Here on base. Oh gosh. Sorry guys for the charts. Maniac, this is just the basic flight recorder that is built into X-Plane. Alright, we're coming in. Oh yeah. What an airport. And those winds were coming from here, so we should have seen a lot of updrafts here. Now, let's look at this crosswind landing and decompose it. Come in. Main wheels first. Yeah. Boom. And then the nose wheel. Not really on the center line, so that's something. We are a little bit pointed into the winds. In the wind, that's good. So we're crabbed, as expected. But now we need to transition from a crabbed angle to a forward slip. And there we go. So left rudders. We align ourselves with the center line. And now we need to convert our rudder input now back to aileron input. So now I'm turning with my ailerons to the right, so we stay on track. Forward slip. And that kind of works. Right wheel first. Still there, nice flare. Still in that forward slip. I was pleased with that. Down. Well, you can see those two wheels, the nose wheel and the left main wheel, hit the runway at the same time, which is not good. And you can also notice something else. I'm away from the center line, which is typical. Why? Because once I transition here and I put in my left rudders and I'm not at the same time put in right aileron, now I'm being pushed by the wind that's coming from the right to the left. So now I'm already vaning, I'm shifting to the left with every second that passes, you can see. To the left, to the left, to the left, to the left. So yeah, I should have applied more aileron. And another trick that I can do, other trick that you can do is actually when you come in, is to not aim for the center line, but to already be on the right side of the runway here. So as soon as you transition, then you shimmy a little bit back to the center line, which is a bit of a cheat, but hey, it works. Center spin stall, yeah, exactly. So yeah, came in. Boom, and there we were. On Catalina. Pretty stuff. I-7 in the pocket. Next up is I-8, and that is a flight where we're not going to arrive at a non-towered field like we did today, but then PilotEdge encourages us to depart a non-towered field, which is also interesting, and it's going to be this field. So tomorrow, or the day after, at least this upcoming week because I have some free time, we are going to depart Santa Catalina, or Santa Catalina Airport, and head over to San Diego. We're going to do a non-precision approach there. That's going to be interesting stuff. So if you like this content, please follow me and jump aboard. Now let's follow me to the parking spot because it's such a nice airport. It's nice to see it once more. Oh, we really took our time here. Ah, there we go. What a cute airport. Is this FX16 mission? No, it's X-Plane 11. Correct. Taxi. Maltese. Why does Twitch say FSX? Well, I could also load my streams up into X-Plane, but actually all of the X-Plane FSX and prepared users are we all use FSX as the main category for streaming our flights. So I'm not interested at all in whether it's X-Plane or prepared. I just like to be part of the community, and the community is at FSX. At least in the Twitch category. There we go. All right. So our flight was 44 nautical miles and 30 minutes. Let's put it into our logbook. Today, KSNA Catalina. Duration, let's make it 30. Landings, 1. Distance, what was it? I already forgot. It was 44 nautical miles. 44. And I was solo, I was instrument rated, it was cross country, I guess barely. I-7 rating in the pockets. Beautiful flights. It's really fun to keep your logbook. Not just for just seeing your statistics. 287 hours. 475 daylight landings, 95 at night, and this was starting from my very first stream here on PilotEdge. This just consists out of PilotEdge flights, and that's really fun to see these statistics. But what I also really like is just to browse through my flights here and well, take anyone, and I have a just little remarks that really tell me the enthusiasm and the excitement that I had when I did the flight, which is really fun. It turns your flight history, or I don't know, your sim pilot history a bit more alive, or I don't know what it is, but if you're not logging, do log your flights. It's really fun. Alrighty, yeah, that's about it, guys. So thank you for joining in. Thanks for all the follows. A lot of new faces here on the stream. Iron Rain donated €5. Thanks. Getting me to Flight Sim Expo in Florida next year. Much appreciated that donation. Ronald, thanks for the follow. Cooper, Dash, Mark, Pajama, Mycroft, Kim, thank you for the subscription once more. Buddy, thanks for the support. I really appreciate it. And Puck, also thank you for the follow. Thank you so much. And yeah, perhaps tomorrow already the I-8 rating, when we're going to depart from Santa Catalina, the airport that we just arrived at today, and then head over to San Diego. It's going to be exciting. Non-precision approach. Ooh. Let's see if I can also pass that one and get a step closer to attaining my virtual instrument rating on PilotEdge, which is my ultimate goal here for my project, the Uncertified Pilot project. Thanks again, guys, for all your encouragements and your views. As always, happy flights and blue skies. Bye.
Palm Springs Tower, Skyline Hotel Tango, new mic is 10 miles north of the airport at 3000. The information X-ray, I'm for a full stop, landing 1-3 left if that's available.
Papa Hotel Tango, Indy Link, Palm Springs Tower, squawk 6250.
6250.
Papa Hotel Tango, Indy Link, Palm Springs altimeters 2985, radar contact, about 10 miles west of the Palm Springs VOR. Presently landing runway 31, so requesting straight in for 13.
That's available, yes please.
Correction, Papa Hotel Tango, Indy Link, make straight in runway 13 left, and clear to land. Wind is 09 or 05.
Clear to land runway 3 left, Papa Hotel Tango, Indy Link.
Palm Springs, clearance, plus 465 meters high, basic final slam cover for airfares to Vegas S-File.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs clearance. Good afternoon. Unable to give you S-File, and I'll be forward standby. PilotEdge 4658 is cleared to the Las Vegas airport. VFI Cathedral 1 departure procedure to Palm Springs. Victor 370 to 29 Palms. Victor 538. Cresso. Join the Cresso 3 arrival. Maintain 7000. Expect flight level 2405 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 126.7. Squawk 6316.
That's 465 is cleared to Vegas via Cathedral 1, Palm Springs, Victor 370, 29, Palms, Victor 538, Presso 3. Initially climb 7000 is back for Director 5, departure 167, cloud 63 left 6 glass, which is 5.
Plus 4658, 3 back is correct. Tango, you might taxi to ramp via Echo and frequency.
Taxiing to the ramp via Echo, remaining on this frequency. Papa Hotel Tango, Indy Mike.
Ontario Tower says the 237 Charlie Alpha approximately 4 miles to the west inbound to land.
Number 237 Charlie Alpha, roger, inner left traffic. Left downwind runway 26 left to port base.
Enter left downwind 26 left to port base 237 Charlie Alpha.
Charlie Tower United 242, and the visual for 20 right, will be turning for a right base shortly.
United 242 John Wayne Tower, runway 20 right, clear to land, wind 170 and 3.
Clear to land.
Near 520 Kilo Palomar Tower.